We're all in for another edition of the Mortgages and BS show here on the Alive and Social Network. Hello, Tom Smith.
Mr. Turner, how are you today?
I am well, sir. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Looking sharp.
Always a pleasure to see you. I'm wearing my grain belt, like delivery guy.
I was just going to comment. Yeah. I was going to say, you got a second job I don't know about or what?
Podcasting and broadcasting, not big money deals. So you got to have a little something on the side.
You can always drop a cake at my house. How's that?
Well, I like the idea.
Because it does involve beer.
Exactly. I like the way you think, sir.
Well, sometimes I do.
Hey, there's one missing from the load. I don't know where it went. Look at my clipboard.
How's your week?
It's been good. A lot of gardening. I'm kind of restoring, and well, I shouldn't say restoring. That sounds like a ground-up thing. I'm doing a lot of work in the backyard garden and just bringing things up to snuff again.
Well, and I'm familiar a little bit with your backyard garden, so I can see how you got a few hours to put in there periodically.
But it's pleasure. It's hobby work. That's the best part about it. I mean, I don't look at it as work because I like to garden. So,
well, I think our next project is the front yard and the backyard here at the studio.
I think that's a good idea, man. We've already had some fun in the backyard. It could use a little something extra, though. It's a good party spot, but it could use a little this and a little.
Well,
bit
we
of that.
got a function coming up next Wednesday, don't we?
Which one are you talking about?
Oh God, we got something going on next Wednesday. Who's playing?
An Alive and Social
Southside
Southside Sessions?
There's a Southside Session. I'm almost positive next Wednesday.
What the heck? I guess I better read the memos a little more. So too busy delivering beer. I know we've got Brian, a.k.a. GB Layton, lined up for August because he and I were talking the other day, and that's all getting teed up. But I didn't know about next Wednesday. We'll find out more info and make sure we get it posted.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you'll be there. You're the party animal of the Alive Social Network.
Well, it's on a Wednesday, so I think I can even bring my wife this time. So that'll be kind of
Nice.
fun. Yeah, so
That'd be good to see her.
I'll be the well-behaved one in the corner.
All right, let's get this going down right now. How's the boat doing? The travails of the Tom Smith boat are a part of the narrative here on the Mortgages and BS show. Obviously, BS beginning every program.
All right, so the boat, as I think we discussed last week, they finally figured out what was wrong with it.
Yep, nothing much to it. Wiring harness, not a big deal.
Got the bill.
Big enough, but
bill,
not a big
bill
deal.
doesn't look bad. I'm okay with it. My wife didn't have any qualms about it either, so we're going to pick it up next weekend.
Nice.
Because we're going to a reunion this weekend, so I can't have it this weekend. But in the meantime, I am going to stop and pick up a couple new musical items for the boat.
I
do
believe I know which direction we're going with. Could the initials be JB? And I'm not talking about James Brown, although it's going through my head
or
right
James
now.
Bond. But
Or James Bond.
I need to pick up a couple new Jimmy Buffetts because it's been a while this summer since I've been on there, and I'm figuring with as much summers left, I'm going to have to burn some hours out there, so I need some more music.
I'm going to hearken to another JB, the one I mentioned. Huh! You feel good.
Na, 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 na.
Like you knew you
We are not singing.
now.
Remember, I told you
I'm
we can't
just
sing.
You feel good now. Ma, 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 ma. You can do the horn part.
I want to do the dance. I like when he dances.
Woo! Oh, with the shuffle across.
Oh,
I'm a fool for James
these guys think
Brown.
we're nuts.
I'm a fool for James Brown. Josh Truman, do you think we're nuts?
Quite possibly.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Ruth Yelmgren, nuts factor from Ruth?
On a scale from 1 to 10,
I'm
11?
glad you did the scale thing.
Yeah.
Nice. Very Spinal Tap-ish. We could turn that up to 11. That's one more than 10, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Good to have you both here. Ruth's here from Keller Williams in Hudson, Wisconsin. Josh Truman's here from Keller Williams in Apple Valley, Minnesota. Good to have you both on the show. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
A real pleasure indeed. You can add now that we've introduced you to the BS narrative of Mortgages and BS, please.
So as we're talking, feel free to jump in.
Please, at any moment. No, I really mean that. At any moment, please say something.
Wait a minute.
Please, what?
Huh?
Was my internal dialogue speaking out
Yes,
loud again?
yes.
I wasn't referring to you, Tom.
Here I was thinking about all the things I want to talk about. So
Well, no, let's go. Let's
All right.
go. What's on your mind?
Well, let's talk about a couple. I live in a house full of women, right?
Yes, I know
except
that,
for my son, who's never around. And we had a couple big dilemmas going on in the house this week. First of all, The Bachelorette.
Okay.
My daughters are not liking The Bachelorette. They're not happy. They think it's a scam. They think this Nick guy shouldn't be on there, and they think the girl is a total bitch. So I told the girls I'd bring it up for them. I don't have any, one way or the other on it, but we'll throw it out there. Then
I'd bring it up on their behalf.
Yes. Then the other one, my wife hits me with, because she's got summer vacation now because schools are closed.
Right.
She hits me with, they know who Adam is now. I looked at her and I said, huh? Young and the Restless.
Oh, sure.
Adam has been disguising as some other guy apparently now for a while.
Uh-oh.
And he got caught on it by his ex-wife finally. So we're going to have big trouble in Genoa City, Wisconsin.
Geez, some serious Y&R intrigue going on here.
Well,
Bachelorette intrigue, Y&R.
I kind of stay up on it.
Getting any weirder. I don't get it. I don't.
You know,
I could talk about Wayward Pines. I really like that show.
I'm feeling really a little bit weird. The fact that I already referred to that soap opera in sort of
Yeah,
a
that's
shortened, truncated, like I'm hip to what's going on.
You're revealing a lot right there.
I thank you very much, Ruth. Ooh.
Well, what's funny though is a lot of people. What amazes me is how many people my age, especially on the female side, have been watching that show since they were in college.
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
I mean, look at the whole General Hospital thing.
I was a General Hospital guy. I'll admit it. I'll admit it.
And I'm going to throw in, you know, when that was going down, I wasn't a regular, but, you know, you'd see something in pop culture and then you'd tune in for a week or so and kind of, you know, a little bit of catch up there. I was doing morning radio then, so I could see it, you know, I'd tune in GH. GH Ruth. There I go again.
Luke and Laura. I even had, one semester I even put my schedule around that show. I was already dating my wife.
Confession's good for the
I was
soul,
already
Tom
dating my
Smith.
wife. Hold on, I was already dating my wife at the time, and she was a big one. So she wanted to watch it with me at the time.
Well, see, that's nice. That's more of a bonding.
I'm a giving kind of
experience.
guy.
Yeah, that's well, and you're doing the same thing, watching The Bachelorette and watching, you know, and at least vibing to other things that are part of the important pop culture narrative of the girls in your house.
Well, what scares me with reality TV, and we all get caught up on it.
How come you didn't do your air quotes? Reality.
I've got a
He's only
beer.
got
I've
one hand.
got a beer in my other hand.
well said, Josh.
Is some of it is so stupid. It just sucks you in to watch because you want to see how much stupider it's going to
There you
get.
go. Yeah, that's the truth.
Like
That's the truth.
I watched the one with the guys that go out alligator hunting.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. But it's just fun.
Exactly.
But it's stupid.
My daughter, a beautiful, cultured 25-year-old college grad, professional woman. She's in the hospitality business, you know, communications grad, and she was so compelled to watch every edition of the Honey Boo Boo thing.
Oh my
for that,
gosh.
you know, but for that same sort of train wreck,
You're holding your head,
Train wreck.
Josh.
car
Holding
wreck
your head.
reason, right? I mean, that's
Absolutely.
why she was watching it, and I get that. You know, I guess I understood that.
Well, I have a 17-year-old daughter, and it is a joining activity. It's something we can do together.
Watching Honey Boo Boo?
No.
Okay, thank
The
you.
Bachelorette.
So just like Tom's house, yeah.
You've got to watch it, and the girls can talk about it, and Jay will, my husband will walk in the
quickly away.
through the living room and out of the living room. It's pretty scary, you know, when you do find yourself watching it, and then you hear the music, and then you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is just like the Hunger Games."
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You start to go, okay, now I'm losing it.
Yeah,
And,
when they use those musical stings and then those shots,
Yes, it's-
they have like 18 cameras going, so they capture everything. You know, I love those. I try to find. We have a drinking game around the house when there's reality TV on, and the drinking
there's
game
probably a lot of drinking going on because there's a lot of reality
yeah,
TV.
But the drinking game in our house is this: if you're watching a reality TV show and they do one of the cutaway reaction shots. And the ones that, you know, are completely out of context, but we always try to go to sort of a guttural level, like, you know, I just let the fart and no one noticed, you know, that sort of thing. You know, just kind of take it down to its base level because reality, air quotes, TV is very base in the first place. And I'm going to let you know there's nobody driving home after most of those viewing episodes because
I guess
there's
not.
a lot of those shots. You know?
Probably a good thing you're already at home then, BT.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Going with the beer narrative again, Tom.
Exactly. Now, I'm laughing at Josh, though, because he's kind of like thinking we're all crazy. On the way down, though, he's talking to me about this lady. Nicole Curtis, was it?
Yes.
Isn't she kind of on a reality show, too? Rehab Addict or something like that?
Oh,
I don't know if you
Nicole,
can call
yeah.
it
Pot, kettle, pot. Come on now.
No, it's completely different.
Why? Because she's hot?
No.
Oh,
I'm sure that the lady on The Bachelorette must be fairly attractive, or else she wouldn't be on the
Wouldn't
roll.
be on The Bachelorette,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Nicole Curtis has the whole home thing going on,
Absolutely.
though. You know, there's things you can learn from shows like that.
Yeah, Tom's single mom making her way in the world. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
We
creating
can
it.
get her a Minnesota housing loan with some casa.
See, he's talking dirty now. I
I
love
see
when
a
he
connection
does that.
there.
Yeah,
we have
exactly.
a particular drinking game that we play at my house, but it's during Twins broadcasts. and
Okay.
it's every time Bert Blyleven says at the major league level,
Good. You'd be drunk.
never make it to the ninth. inning.
No ninth inning for you guys.
We have one with Burt Blyleven, and it is Tommy John surgery.
Oh, there's a good one. Oh, yeah.
So nobody watches Newhart anymore and goes on Bob?
Bob,
myself.
well, no,
Page
but that
myself.
was a good one. We did that one. We did that one.
What's funny is, I mean, you talk about the drinking games with shows. I mean, you could find the dumbest thing out of any one of them, and somehow you're going to be drinking.
Yeah, that's right. Just find the right narrative.
Maybe
It's really a subtext more than a narrative.
Maybe I found something new for my wife and I, the empty nesters, to do now.
Yeah, just watch reality TV and throw back shots.
There you go.
Not a bad retirement plan, Tom. I don't know how long it'll last, given the liver and its, propensity for, problems. But, it'd be a good way to go out.
I've always got mortgage banking to fall back on.
I always got something there to do.
Now, let's jump for a second. Now, we've been silly. Let's talk mortgage banking for a minute. Janet Yellen's been talking all week in front of Congress about what's going on with the economy, Greece, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, of course, that always gets the markets a little skittish.
Especially the deal that was cut there.
Oh
too.
yeah, Greece is making and this is a third or fourth time.
Third bailout.
And so they're saying don't centralize yourself so much on Greece and China and all the stuff that's going on. You need to still be looking at our economy. And I know Ruth has heard me say this. Josh has heard me say this. When you're in a 100-foot hole and you still have 90 feet to go, it's not time to get excited.
Yeah.
And they're talking about this rate increase and stuff like that. It's not what the Fed does; it's what they say.
Oh, exactly.
And that's all she's
Would
doing.
you agree?
Right now.
Yeah, Ruth. Yeah, Josh.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the spoken, not so much the doing.
And so I've been listening to it all week, and everybody's, of course, got their own concept on it. The markets are actually doing fairly well. But bottom line is she's trying to give caution to the wind out there because one little weird thing could really screw everything up for everybody. And that's what she's trying to do is get investors to be cautious. And if the investors are being cautious and they're doing their things prudently, rates are going to stay low. We're not going to see a hike in the fall or the winter. I just don't see it until spring. But then again, we never know. Something could happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all the data again today, non-inflationary. It's all out there. So people have got to take advantage of these rates. And that's why, we've got these guys here today to talk about real estate. That's what they're in charge of. They're in charge of real estate agents, people that go out and help people do these things and take advantage of the rates we got out
Yeah,
there.
right on. Is that the role that you have, Josh, as a supervisory role? I mean, working with the agents, or are you an agent yourself going out there and digging up business too, in addition to that?
I am not an agent, but
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
that is the central focus on what we do is try to grow our market centers and then push the agents that are there to be more productive.
Yeah, right on. So it's a real educational thing for you. It's a training thing for you. It's a scheduling thing for you on a regular day-to-day basis.
That is correct.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Ruth? Same sort of role, or are you an
It's
agent
identical.
too? Or
Just
yeah, cool.
with that coaching aspect,
Yeah.
helping agents be more productive and helping them get their own roadblocks out of the way and keep moving their businesses forward.
And I know for a fact, from knowing both of them in their offices, they do a lot of trainings. They have
Market centers,
market
Very
centers.
good. Well
I
said.
always screw that one up.
Smack
25
down.
cents.
But they always have people coming in to give some sort of informational.
Josh is putting his thumb up 50 cents. Come on, $1.
He's trying to. I'm carpooling with him, and if he wants to ride home, he better stop. But they always have some sort of a training going on in their locations. Something. Whether it be as simple as the other day, the lady went on about Quicken, working with the agents on Quicken, to something more sophisticated and technological.
Agents teaching on HomeSnap, which is part of the MLS, and we've got all of the KW high-end technology that is unbounded.
Well, and you have all the different educations on the different system for technology as well to make sure that the agents are up to snuff on that kind of stuff too. I know you guys have that as well to make sure they got their EIG agency stuff down to make sure they're utilizing the technology that is there to their fullest.
Yeah. And integrating all the social technology as well.
Yep, and the challenge comes with agents being business owners. You can't really make them do these things, but you try to encourage them as much as you can to come in and take advantage of these awesome things that people have spent years developing to try and help them push their business forward.
Great tools. Great tools at their disposal. I got to think that there is a certain amount, and help me if I'm wrong, but in the roles that you both have, that there's a certain psychological element here too, whereby you're also training on an interpersonal communications basis. You're trying to help these agents become just better communicators with their potential clients, with their actual clients. Repeat business is so often based on relationships, and forging a strong relationship, all the technology notwithstanding, is going to be the biggest thing that helps that move forward. Am I right?
Yeah, there's different ways in which they can utilize the technology to help enhance that. And, even just something as basic as working on scripts and dialogues to help them be more effective in their communication, like you said, helping people to move themselves forward when they often have, their own reasons why they are afraid to move forward.
Roadblocks or whatever, their own psychological roadblocks or reasons why it's hard to close or ask or this or that.
So we try to help agents figure out a way to use the dialogues and make them personal, and then help their clients move themselves forward.
Your background, Josh, as a military recruiter, does that play into this storyline that I'm thinking about here, as far as that level of working and engaging with agents?
It does. Completely different worlds. We all know that, but people are people.
There you go.
No matter which way you look at it. And just to touch on what she was saying with the scripts, I mean, every Tuesday we have a meeting at 9:30 in the morning. As soon as it ends, we hand out scripts. We tell people,
cool,
do these scripts with the person right next to you. I'll have people come to my office, and I want them to say, tell me no matter what I say.
Yeah.
Just so I can try and work on what I do as
Gotcha.
well. We are always trying to build on their confidence. It boils down to how confident are they going to be to tell someone, hey, I really think you should hire me. Or I really think you should take this offer.
Because that's exactly what it is. You're asking those individual clients to hire you as an agent to represent them with the house they're selling, the one they want to buy, whatever the case may be. Yeah, you're right. They're all small business people.
And what's really cool about Keller Williams, too, especially is, every person's got their own internal things that they can do and how they do stuff and be successful. But the company was founded by some people that had a lot of success, and they've put together different tools that are out there for them to utilize for classes like Bold and Ignite. And these are classes that are Keller Williams classes for sales, and they're coaching type classes. They're not a one-on-one, but they're a larger scale. But they also have coaching available inside the system. And then you look at their technological stuff that they have. It's phenomenal. I mean, I'm not knocking any other company.
Yeah, you're not putting
these guys
them necessarily on
but
Pinnacle,
these guys,
but
these,
right.
Yeah, but these guys have got their act together. They know what they're doing, and they're taking the success of others and seeing what they did right and what helped them, and trying to make that even better with coming up agents, or ways to make it even more useful, or new ways to do it. But play off what's worked, and let's keep going forward. And they're having a lot of success.
It's all systems and models. They're proven.
Yeah.
Time over, time again.
Well, and then ongoing training. I mean, It's a regular thing, because we all know whether we're into sports as an active player or not. The comparison I'll make is muscle memory. You just keep repeating something as a first baseman or whatever over and over again. Then it becomes automatic.
Yep.
So
exactly,
like with the scripts or this or that.
And one of the things that we really want to get across to people is when we talk about training, we're not just talking about the phenomenal training for onboarding new agents, but the agent. At any point in their life cycle as an agent, there is training that is specific to where they are to take them to the next level.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, you guys have trainings pretty much outside of your meetings. You guys have trainings pretty much every week in your offices, don't you? Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly.
Try to.
Probably about 3 to 4 trainings a week.
I mean,
on something.
And what's funny is, and I've been involved with some of your guys' training. What's funny is, like Ruth said, is you could have the new agent, some of these, and you could have the seasoned agent in there. And there's that one thing that they miss somewhere along the way, and just by being at that training, it clicks.
Yeah.
And so they're looking, like any career, you're always looking to better yourself. And so when you talk about real estate as a career, that's really what you're trying to do, right? Mm-hmm. You're trying to better yourself, what you do, so you can have a successful career, not a successful job, but a successful career.
Yeah, I got to think it's important to putting those newer recruits, so to speak, in next to those seasoned ones, because not to say that the veterans are always going to have the lessons for the newbies. I'm guessing that, as often happens, just a way of thinking or a certain manner of being, given an age bracket that you might be growing up in, is going to translate to that seasoned professional that's maybe been doing this for 20 years. How do you relate to that 25-year-old potential first-time buyer when you're not 25, when you're not 30, but when you're 55 or 60, you do a great job at what you do, but there are going to be certain touchstones, cultural or otherwise, ways, again, manners and ways of behaving and such.
Plus, they also have a lot to contribute from any generation. So
Sure.
you've got millennials and digital natives who are teaching classes to agents that have been in the industry for 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
And
let me show you how to use your smartphone for this thing.
It's phenomenal.
It's going to make you 20% more efficient.
A brand new app, and
Yeah.
here's all the ins and outs of it, and we're going to make sure that you know what you're doing so your clients can take advantage of it and really understand what the technology can do for them in helping them secure a home.
Yeah, the baseline of what you guys are talking about here absolutely applies to any business.
Right.
It
doubt.
really does.
No
it
doubt.
really does.
I think in real estate, and wouldn't you agree that the sky is the limit as far as where this where the industry is going, particularly because of the technology that's becoming available?
Absolutely, and it brings me to something that I mentioned in my team meetings the other day when I first, said, "Hey, we're going to do scripts." I boiled it down to saying, hey, Joe Mauer, every time before he has a game, what does he do? He does batting practice.
Right.
The NHL, what do? They have a morning skate. So I told them, my agents, the only thing that separates us from being, just like those millionaire sports people is that, number one, physical stature, of course. And,
I don't know about you. I look pretty good.
and number two, we're not millionaires yet. So practice.
Yeah.
And just like you were saying, with the millennials being able to show the veterans the technology, then the veterans can mentor the younger generation with this is how you communicate.
Yeah,
this is what works.
Yeah, I'll go in a direction with music now. And I had the pleasure of talking to Stevie Nicks some years ago when she came out with her what was then latest solo record, and I kind of opened the conversation up to what are you doing to promote it, and she just got off on a huge tangent. And the end all and be all of that section of the conversation was her saying out loud, "Oh yeah, even Stevie Nicks has to go out and make Stevie Nicks happen."
Wow.
So she's not like these seasoned professionals or these young people getting into it and knowing that the path includes training and on an ongoing basis and reaching out on an ongoing basis. The best professionals know, like you said, Joe Mauer taking batting practice before the game or whatever the case may be, that even Stevie Nicks has to go out and not rest on her Stevie Nicks laurels and think that that's going to make things happen.
Yeah,
because it
That's
won't.
very true. You
Yeah.
have to stay sharp, and you have to stay active, and constantly what we call lead generating.
What do you call it? Did you say regenerating?
Lead.
Oh, lead. Yeah, of course. But you know what? My hearing you incorrectly is I think apt as
I
well.
like the regenerating.
regenerating as well. Sure.
when you
We'll
think
use
of-
that in the next team meeting.
When you think
Why
about
not?
it, any job you have, you're always trying to make yourself you're always trying to make yourself better at what you do because you want to try and get more out of it, make yourself more efficient, maybe work a little less to be able to generate the same, whatever it might be. And when you do that, you improve. Now, what's cool about real estate, though, is whenever they're dealing with a client, they're dealing with somebody different.
Oh,
So they
absolutely.
definitely
Right,
have.
right.
So you definitely have to continue to train and hone your skills because you're never dealing with the two types of personalities that are similar. So you deal with different people, different situations. You have to know how to act and react in them, whether it's a short sale, something like that, a relocation, things like that. And the agent has to understand where the customer is coming from.
The
and know-
emotional content
Yep.
of where they are. Yeah, that's why I got into that psychological part.
Absolutely.
When you
and
get
sometimes
emotional
there's a
part of
lot.
it.
Sometimes there's a lot of disconnect on the emotional part, and that's the hardest part of our business because then if you get too into the emotional part, then you go too far the other way. So it's a matter of trying to make sure you got that correct balance so you can take care of the customer and their needs and their wants and their desires, and still be able to do your job and feel good about what you're doing from the standpoint of what you're putting into it, getting out of it, and all that.
Yep.
I think one of the things that you're getting to as well is it's so important to be a listener and to come from curiosity. Every person is different, so you can't assume that they're going to want the same things that the last set of clients wanted. So when you come from curiosity and just sit back and ask provocative questions or compelling questions, that's going to create a feedback that you can help them even more.
Yeah, that basic CNA, no matter what the sales cycle is and no matter what you're working on, it's that client needs analysis comes first, where you're just sitting, listening, and taking notes. Absolutely.
You come off really smart when you're a good listener.
What'd you say?
I said you come off. Shut up.
Well played.
That explains the
You
problem.
got me.
Now, I should. I mean, both these guys are doing great here on the air and stuff. But I want to bring up something that just kind of pinpoints it. Did you know that Ruth is a seasoned veteran in the arena of entertainment?
No, tell me more. Tell us more, please.
I'm interested.
Oh, good. I caught your attention. You were talking about General Hospital.
General Hospital, and then the movie.
Yeah, and I've done General Hospital. I was in a soap opera called Loving. Do you remember that one on
do.
ABC?
Oh my
Yeah, I remember
gosh!
that,
Yes.
Had a role on Loving, and I guess my biggest claim to film fame is being Judy in Jingle All the Way.
Oh, wow.
and
Isn't
I
that
worked
cool?
with Phil Hartman.
Sure, the great late Phil.
The great
oh,
late
my.
Phil. Mm-hmm.
What a great actor. What a great person.
And the movie, but it was really fun.
I bet it was.
It was really fun. I had my own trailer.
Oh, did you really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I figured I had to get a plug-in for on that because I remember when I think it was did Jay post it? I think Jay did.
Jay did post
That's
it.
your husband, Jay?
Her husband
Yeah.
Jay posted
Yeah.
a picture one day. I was like, oh my
That's
God.
really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just I mean, for one, it was kind of like, I watched that movie. I watched that movie.
Now I got to watch it closer.
Yeah, I got to wait for it to come up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Was your
gotta be on
was you
Netflix.
training as an actor?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. So out of college and all of that, and then tell us a little bit about that professional career pursuit.
I had I got a degree in psych at undergraduate, but I was also a singer and got into theater right at the end of college. I hadn't done it, and none of it in high school or anything. And I was told that it would be a good idea to go ahead and pursue it, and I did. And I moved to New York, and I went to acting school, and really got my first breaks professionally in commercials.
Okay.
So you have seen me in commercials.
And on camera voiceover too, then
All
or
of it.
both? Yeah, both. Mm-hmm.
Well, when Jay will tell me too, he goes, "Yeah, those residual checks come in every month." He goes, "Must be about $9."
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's for Jingle All the Way.
those pennies add up though.
Ooh.
Oh,
But
boy.
but
It
it's
still says 20th Century Fox. Okay.
right on.
But what's
right
cool
on.
about that is, like, and then talking when I first met Josh and found out his military background, what he did, it's like you never know what people's backgrounds are and what they learn from those backgrounds that they can take into something else.
Yep.
And obviously, you're dealing with a lot of different personalities and something like that. So you learn how to handle ups and downs. Military, enough said. I served. I know exactly what you dealt with. So you've got two people here that are coming from two different tracks, but they're very similar and yet different at the same time.
Absolutely.
They're people person. They know how to coach, and they're fantastic people.
Oh, you're so kind.
Well, I would agree. In the short time that we've known each other, I would agree. I have an acting friend, Robert Birdhall, who is also a real estate. Well, he's a real estate agent.
Oh.
But he began his realty career because he had a rental property, and leading up to the sale of that or some transaction that was going on, he just wanted to learn more about it, and one layer added to another layer, and his acting training has served him well.
Yeah.
And as he puts it, when it comes time to selling a house, working with a client, this is like being on stage. It's absolutely like being on stage. Staging the house, that's the term that's used. And that's exactly what you're doing is, setting the set and staging the house to make it most amenable to a potential sale or whatever. And then the hours work out well for him.
Yeah.
He's in shows at the Guthrie all the time still.
Oh, my gosh.
He's in the Music Man at the Guthrie right now.
Cool.
But that ability to kind of get out there and do the hours on his schedule on the realty side, and then pursue what he does on another professional level, and has been a longer professional track for him as an actor.
That's
I'd
wonderful.
really like to talk to him about Keller Williams.
Well, we'll set that up.
And I was going to say,
I think he's with Edina right now, if I remember.
Well, that's
I'm
just
saying.
temporary.
Yeah, see, there you go. I like the way you're thinking here.
and I know you guys, I know what the answer to the question is right now when I ask this question to you guys. I mean, from a standpoint of you guys are leaders in your market centers, your jobs are recruiting, coaching, that type of stuff. Is it a good time to get into real estate for somebody that wants to pursue something like this?
Is this a good time?
Yeah.
It's an outstanding time.
I don't think there's a bad time.
I knew there was I knew that was your answer. gonna be,
Would
but-
you have said that? No, you weren't in the business in 08, 09. You were in the military still. Would you have said that in 08, 09, Ruth?
It was a good time to get in and get your chops
Okay,
up
got it.
on a really tough market.
Learning
and
while difficulties were in place. Sure.
Well, I have an agent in my office that got in right when the markets were crashing.
Yeah.
And oh my God, she is an icon in our office.
Yeah.
So there's really no bad time. And if you work, get started in a more depressed economy, or
Just
low-
a difficult economy,
difficult
or a
economy.
difficult set of circumstances.
then when it comes out and it starts to get better, it's like, whoa, this is the way it can really
Yeah,
be.
I
This
think
is
you
good.
tend
Interesting.
to appreciate it more and understand where you can go with it. Whereas if you start the opposite wise and then the market goes the other way, it's like, well, geez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, see
you're
where you're
going from the one end, you're learning how to make things happen to get to a point, and then when you can keep it going even through the bad times afterwards. Whereas if you start in the good time and it goes, you've never developed skills.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But there isn't a bad time per se. It's just
But hardship is the best training.
Well, not only that, but I mean, we can talk about there's an up market, there's a down market. I don't particularly buy into that. I think it's either a seller's market or it's a buyer's market.
Okay.
And
So
it's
either way, that's what
whichever-
agents are needed for either
you have
one.
to align
There's
yourself.
always a market.
There's always a market.
And
Yeah.
the
Well
the
said.
magic pill for all of it is just hard work.
well, and I being that I've gone through some of the Keller stuff, we talk about building your life by design and stuff like that. The one thing I think that is big for real estate agents or mortgage bankers or anybody that goes into a job market you can't just look at your job as a job. You have to look at it as a career. And you have to put the investment and the time in to better yourself at what you do, whether it's training or whatever it might be, or bottom line, invest in yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've watched with the agents that I've met. And again, I've done this a lot of years. The agents that have been successful, whether they've been at Keller Williams or other companies, they're putting an investment in themselves, and they're looking at their jobs as careers, because they're not just doing it for a while. They're doing it to support themselves, their families, and they're making sure that they're happy and they've got the balance.
As Gary Keller would say, the one with the most passion wins. And that's what's going to carry you through.
I thought it was he who dies with the best tan wins.
Well, you better get working.
I know I've
baby.
got a bad tan this
Now
year.
that you got the boat back.
I just won.
Yeah, wait till I get the boat back out, though.
I want to make sure I ask you both about something that's been on my mind since you came in here. And knowing that you're working with all these different agents, young and old, I want to go young and old here when it comes to what you're finding out from the agents about the market and who's buying. First-time home buyers, it seems to be on an upswing. Generally speaking, that younger first-time home buyer. So keep that in the back of your mind, because I'm going to add second part of my question right now, and that is the older transitional buyer, the people that are empty nesting. They want to get into more of that 3-bedroom condo type of setting, or 2-bedroom condo where you have the bedroom, you've got the spare bedroom, or an office and another spare bed, that kind of thing. The kids are going to come and visit. So speak to me and to Tom and I and to our listeners about both of those. How are those markets shaping up right now? Ruth, you go first.
Oh, that's really interesting. I think one of the things that I've heard a lot more of, people wanting homes that are going to have space for multi-generations.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
I'm just
That's great
starting
to hear, too, actually.
I know. I'm just starting to hear.
It's kind of old school. I like that.
I know. It's like an idea coming around. But they're really, looking at convertible garages on new builds, how to turn it in, just
that
maybe.
Could be mom's place, maybe,
exactly,
or something
and
like
they've got
that.
it plumbed, and they've got a small kitchenette, and
Sure.
and it can become an extra space or an extra garage if and when the time comes.
That's weird, because when I started in the business, mother-in-law apartments, as we called them back then, were not unusual.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't want his mother-in-law living there, I guess. But no, I mean, I remember, because we would everybody wanted to try and treat them like a duplex, but they weren't really duplexes.
Right.
So that's interesting. That's coming back.
It's just starting to get into, the vernacular of building, and I think it's really a great concept, because people want to be close to their family.
But I wonder, I think it's twofold as well. Maybe it's that 30-something-year-old, 35-ish or whatever, that's building a new one or looking for a new one or whatever the case may be. And then they realized the circumstances that they were under, that maybe they moved away from 22 to 26, and then they had to move back home for a few years. And mom and dad were cool with that. And then they moved out again, and now they're getting into a home. It's not just thinking about the older mom or dad that might need a space and you'd like to have them close by. It's also having kids, or the potential for kids in the future, that there might be a time where they're going to need to have some help, perhaps, and there'd be something convenient or at least easily transitional to turn that into a living space.
Yeah,
I
think so. I think it's a really cool concept.
What's the read you're getting out there from the agents you're working with, Josh?
A lot of what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing right now is what's going to be coming up in the not-so-distant future with the generational cliff. We've got the baby boomers who are in these McMansions right now.
So those transitioners that I was talking about.
Right, and they're going to be looking for those one-level homes.
Sure, there you go. Whether it's a condo, we're talking about the same thing.
Condo
here.
or, a Rambler ranch house.
Detached townhome.
Yeah, my wife's already talking about that. Not so much. She likes the condo idea, but certainly what she's getting at is the next one we're moving into is going to be one level.
Well, and Josh has an agent in his office, Diane Hawkins, who's kind of specialized in that right now.
Yep.
And she's doing a lot of seminars on that, where she's trying to go after the 55 and older group. And
Okay.
she'll be on a show for us down the road. And we've found different things out there, like moving companies that specialize in that to help you clean out the house. And I see that, because I'm going to be 55.
It's going to happen, and it's coming.
And we're starting to think those things, because I don't need the house I have anymore.
Right.
The other side of that is there enough people coming up that are going to be able to afford to buy the house that you're vacating?
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in most cases, or at least certainly some, I shouldn't say most, but it seems most, because the preponderance of the quote-unquote McMansion was so ginormous for the longest time, and they're still building them.
Right.
Yes.
And people are still buying and selling them, but I see exactly what you're saying is, will somebody be there to get that 5-bedroom house?
And what's weird about it is the house they want to move to is the house that the first-time buyer used to live in, which isn't up for sale. So it's kind of like that cycle where you got to turn around.
Right.
And so what's happening is that buyer, the baby boomer buyer, is sitting there going, I'm content. I know where my payment's at. But when the right house pops up, I'll go ahead and I'll downsize.
Yeah.
Right.
So if
and-
there's any builders listening, One Level Homes.
At a decent price.
yeah.
At a decent price.
And then you've got the whole tiny home concept. People who are looking to not
Off the grid type
yeah,
stuff.
not to get so big as like to move into the McMansions. Now,
Yeah.
you know, in some cases people aren't going to want to move into those. They want their family close. They don't want them, 3,500 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I know my son lives in my basement. I wish my house was bigger.
And it's already kind of big.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Are you listening, Sonny boy?
Yeah.
Are you listening to the show? Maybe
He'll
you
be-
could,
he'll
maybe
be
you
in my-
could share this link with him.
Oh, I said to him, have you not even listened to your dad's show? I said, your sisters have. Oh, God. And you're going to graduate
He
from
just
college
shakes
eventually,
his
right?
head. He's just shaking his head.
My kids are great. They are.
Yeah, you got good kids. You got a good family. I hope that we see your wife at the next outdoor thing in the backyard at the Alive and Social Network. Like I said, we'll double check that schedule and pass it along on our Facebook posts and such, which, by the way, Tom has changed his Facebook profile, certainly the professional side of it, to Mortgages and BS. Good move, man. Good
Well,
move.
we decided not to create our own Facebook page per se, but I thought it kind of made sense with
It
the show.
totally made sense. Absolutely, it
Because
does.
half of what I post is bullshit anyway.
There you go. So yeah,
We'll
that's-
just say it. Bullshit, not BS.
and he puts it up front. It's usually like the show here. We got to the BS first, and we got to the mortgages part second. So, and the realty part second.
Well, what's funny is these two always see me in my serious mode, so they got to see me a little goofier today, which I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, Josh, we're going to have to talk after this.
Yeah.
Okay?
with the-
Ruth,
We'll take
same
that off
guy.
camera.
Same guy
Ruth,
I've always
Josh,
seen.
can I just let you know that compared to previous mortgages and BS shows, the goofy and silly that you saw here, pretty light.
I
Pretty
imagine.
light.
I did hear a
Little
little bit of
reserved.
the
Yeah,
others.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even
They-
that part was
they've
back.
listened to our show,
Yeah,
right?
well, and then they already know. You've both been delightful guests. Thanks for joining in today. I'd like to have you both back, just like we're doing here, sometime in the future.
Sounds
because
like it.
I think there's more conversations that we can generate, with the two of you. Because I like the simpatico that the two of you have, and the
love
four
it.
of us in
Yes.
the room together. I think it's wonderful.
Well, thank you very much. I'll
Yeah.
come back.
Why would I not want to sit next to an actor?
Sounds good.
Yeah, there you go,
And
my
you.
friend. Well, and a former military veteran like Tom and I
Yeah.
are.
Maybe we could have Jay come, and Jay and I'll just sit over here, and we'll just kind of do our own thing.
Oh, jeez.
We'll need you there for some silly, Tom. We will.
Her husband would help me with the silly, trust me.
There'd be no end.
Josh Truman's from the Market Center for Keller Williams in Apple Valley. Ruth Youngren's from the Market Center for Keller Williams in Hudson, Wisconsin. Did I do it right? Market Center, right?
Perfect.
I'm on game, baby.
Yeah.
I'm on game. There's my good buddy, Tom Smith.
Brian, next week we got our friend Mark Esperson from Bonfee coming on. He's going to talk about different home warranty plans for us, so let's see how that goes. I think it's going to be pretty cool, actually.
Join us next week on the Mortgages and BS show. We'll see you then.
Exactly.